Hello, David Becker here with BeckerArt. In today's video newsletter, I want to talk to you a little bit about linking your values together in composition. All right, so it sounds kind of complicated, but it's not. It's really actually very simple, and it's something I learned in Don Andrews' workshop, and I thought, man, I got to pass this on because I never really thought of it in the way he explained it to me, and it's something I want to explain to you. And so when you're drawing or when you have an image, and this image that we're going to be painting this week is for our Thursday paint along is a lot of umbrellas on a beach that are all kind of all separated and stuff, and you kind of want to bring things together so that you can paint them in one big valued wash. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's just say we're going to go down here and just going to draw in, let's say, an umbrella. All right, and just make, I'm going to make this really simple. Let's say we have an umbrella here on the beach, and maybe there's a chair. And I'm just going to make this dark. This is dark against the light, basically. Let's just say that for now. And then we're going to put maybe the chair here, and just let's just say we go like this. And then we have a guy standing over here, maybe a couple people over here. They're standing up, and maybe they're talking to each other. You know, and you have this basically a bunch of people on a beach. Let's say we're basically doing a bunch of people on a beach, and it's very separate images, right? A bunch of images of objects that are not really related together, you know, because we're just, and then we'll maybe have one over here, maybe farther in the distance we'll have one, a little bit farther away. Maybe there's an umbrella back here, and that's a little bit farther away. Let's put this a little bit farther closer. And then let's say we have, maybe we have a bunch of foliage here, and then we have maybe a palm tree. You know, let's just put a palm tree in here real quick. And so let's just say these are objects that we have, you know, and we're just kind of drawing them up. And then, like if you see, they're not connected really. And so when you do the watercolor, and even the composition of this, they're all separate objects. And maybe I want them to all to be in the same kind of area, or the same, let's say, foreground. And then we have, let's say we have the beach in the background. And then maybe we have some mountains back there, very far distance. Maybe we have something else. And that could kind of bring them together, but somehow we have to bring these together. So when I go to do the painting and I paint with it, I would like to have like a connection between all these images as like a dark. And so that they're all one big dark area. And so what I would do is I just simply put a shadow across them, and then put a shadow like right across here. And then, like I said, these are more of my darks in the foreground, but when I put them together like this, then all of a sudden they connect really nicely as a part of the composition that's all together. And you want to do this as many places as you can possibly do that, where there's big areas of light and dark. So basically now this is just one big area. Instead of being a bunch of little objects all by themselves being dark, now they're all together. And then when I do the wash, I'll be painting from here, go down this way. There's a bunch of things laying here, and I come down, I go across there. Maybe I can do a little shadowing. So shadowing these all together kind of brings it into one area of big dark. And like if I do the background, let's say way in a distance, maybe in a horizon. Let's say this is like the horizon through here. Let's say it's the horizon, and maybe way back here, we get some part of the distant area, and that could be lighter, but see, that's not going to connect them together, but that's like in a whole area, and that could go down from a dark to a light as it comes forward. But that's my background, and so this now is my whole foreground, and it's all connected by this nice shadow, and that's called linking the objects together, and with shadowing. Don Andrews called it linkage with shadows, and you can also do the opposite. So let's say you had the sky is darker at night, and then let's say you have people. Let me just draw this real quickly. Let's say you have some people, objects again, because what you can do is you can do the opposite, where you're negative painting in objects, and then have them connected with a light of some type. Maybe it could be the shadowing or something, so that it's opposite that. So you're going to go with light areas. And so let's say this is water, this is the beach, and so they got some darks through here. The sky is darker than objects. And you know, you don't know when this is going to happen, but this can happen this way too, where not using the dark of things, you're using the light, like your negative painting. And so maybe the beach is like grasses or something, and then something is around it, like a sidewalk that's light, and then the people are light because they are. It's just sometimes this happens. So it's like everything is dark, and it doesn't mean that this has to be black and white, but like colored. And so then you'd have these linkages to maybe something was over here, which I forgot to do. And so let's just say, let's just erase this little something over here. Let's just erase this part. Again, it's like bringing things together so that they link together with values and not just objects all separated by themselves. So again, this would be like white, and then maybe this again is all dark. And so see how the light is just opposite of what I did up here, where now the lights are holding it together, so everything else is dark. And again, you never know what kind of picture you have, but when you can link these things together, now this is all light areas between darks. And so he was talking a lot, Don Andrews was talking a lot about bringing together lights and darks. So if you have an object, you have an object that's dark, then you put a light around it, right? You put the lights around it. If the background is dark, then you make the opposite happen where it's dark around a light object, but then let's say it changes and shifts to a light. So then what you do is you do, let's say there's a person, you can just shift it. So you're always shifting your values between lights and darks. But the most important thing about this linkage thing is that you're taking objects, a lot of different objects, and bring them together into one big area of dark or light. And so even if the picture doesn't give you that, you make it happen so that you do get a nice thing. Otherwise, you just get a bunch of, let's say you get a bunch of objects. Sorry about that. Or you just get a bunch of objects that are all separate. Doesn't matter what the objects are. Like when they're all like this and they just have a bunch of them, they're not connected. They're not connected as one big area that you can paint. So you'd be doing each individual thing. But if I throw a shadow across here and just kind of connect them with shadow, suddenly they all come together as one big plane. You know, and that's what you want. You want so that when you're painting, you get these beautiful washes that are large and you can get them through the area and not just do piece by piece. Because your painting is not just a bunch of pieces that don't hold together. They basically are a bunch of objects, but they're all held together with either value or color. One of those things has to hold those images together in the plane that it's in. Like the background is the background, the foreground is the foreground. And when we do this scene, this coming, actually it's going to be on Friday because I'm not out of town to do the workshop on Friday, the paint along. It'll be on Friday this week. But when we do that, I'm going to show you, it's a very scene with a lot of people on a beach with umbrellas, a lot of them. And so I'm going to fake a lot of the picture of, the people because I'm just going to bring them together with the darks and lights. And so we'll show you that on Friday. But again, it's about just linking these objects together with a shadow or color. That could be like the grasses, like down here. This is maybe just could be light grasses, and then the people are light against the dark background. Something links them together, the objects. All right, so I'll see you on Friday, and come by on Friday for the paint along, and I'll explain a little bit more about linking your big areas of contrast of light and dark together in a bunch of objects. All right, we'll see you on Thursday. I forgot, Friday. It's going to be on Friday. All right, bye-bye.